one, I cannot be the two. Why you on a perimeter, can't even shoot? Oh, you got a whack at jump. We gon' make it rain on thunder. I ain't tryna sit on the phone tryna.
All right, man. Here we are, Week 16 recap, Studs and Duds edition. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to the channel. Um, we're almost there. We're almost to the best time of the year. I feel like the beginning of the football season brings me like extreme happiness. But playoff football, not only in college football, after the Big Five or Power Five school plays, college football, and then NFL playoff football, end of the season football. Is there anything better? Christmas is coming up, obviously. NBA officially starts to me on Christmas. Just an amazing time of the year, man. Let's get right into it. If I can know how to work the freaking graphics. Okay. Studs. Number 5, Patrick Mahomes. Why is Patrick Mahomes post-surgery? This picture is him and Travis Kelce. I was going to say Travis Scott for some reason. Him and Travis Kelce post-surgery. Why is he on that? Because the Titans beat the Chiefs 26-9. They had almost triple the first downs, double the total plays, almost triple the total yards. It was just bad. It was a whole domination um by the Titans to the once mighty Kansas City Chiefs. And week after week people came on social media, on TV, and were just saying how bad Patrick Mahomes played. And now you can see that team without Patrick Mahomes. And obviously, he's not the only person missing. The offensive line injuries, quarterbacks get injured. It happens. All these things happen. But I feel like after that game, he's been more appreciated, if that makes sense. Like, we see what his team is without him. They have to play the Broncos on Christmas. It's sad. I don't think anybody really wants to watch that game, but we'll get to the Broncos later. They probably need a little pick me up. Moving on. I use this picture, but it's really just the Carolina Panthers. Listen, I'm not a Panthers fan. Do I really believe in them to do any damage in the playoffs? No. But they did just get to be number one in their division. They did just earn that against I can't say my Bucks. Baker Mayfield is my type of guy, you know what I'm saying? I love me some Big Show, but he's clearly injured. His shoulder is not right. That's why these balls are sailing. That's why it's not accurate. It's been that for a couple weeks, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. If you're on the field, you got to perform, and you can't go out the way Baker did. So, congrats to the Panthers. I don't. Again, this is gonna sound backhanded because I'm not a Panthers believer and I'm not a Bryce Young believer. But ever since he got benched, his numbers are insane. I saw that graphic on Twitter and it was just, I thought it was fake. Honestly, I had to check some comments, check some other things, and he's been really good. Do I can't not believe in him. I can't not say he hasn't been playing well. He hasn't been playing well. Do I think does he pass the confetti test? Let's say that. Do I think you can win a Super Bowl with him? Do I think you can get far in the playoffs with him? Next. Liam Cohen. Liam Cohen was one of my picks for Coach of the Year. I believe I have Mike Rabel 1, Liam Cohen 2, and both those things look really good right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. But today we're highlighting Liam Cohen for his game against the Broncos and Sean Payton. Putting up your quarterback against his quarterback, a Sean Payton-led offense, and believed in quarterback. He believes in Bo Nix, and your quarterback got out there and outplayed him on their field, I believe. So that's just extremely impressive. Still alive for the 1 seed, taking down the what seems to be the number one team in the AFC. Even though a lot of us still have questions about their quarterback, but he has been proving us wrong week after week. So shout out to Liam Cohen getting Trevor right. He's losing Travis Hunter. He's making some good trades. Obviously, the GM makes the trades, but he's collecting these pieces on his team, and he has really fired up that offense, and the defense has always been playing well. Moving on. This makes me happy because I never sold my stock in Caleb. And listen, I know that they split with the Packers, so it's not really like, oh, they dominated the Packers. And I know that Jordan Love got injured pretty early in that game, before the second half came along, and Malik Willis was actually playing. But at the end of the day, it's Green Bay, it's Chicago. This rivalry is not something I paid a lot of attention to because I'm a Giants fan. I'm not really in that section. But this is huge for the NFL. Everybody knows that. And I'm a Caleb guy. So him making that final play to win the game when the last time they played a couple weeks ago, he made the final play to essentially lose the game. Just means a lot to me. DJ Moore with another walk-off touchdown. That last one he had with the Panthers, I believe, was probably crazier than this one because that PJ Walker throw. Um, but again, shout out Ben Johnson, shout out Caleb, obviously DJ Moore. But this run game is serious. This defense is playing well. They're definitely something to look out for in the playoffs. Um, them Rams, and we'll get to them too because number one is Mike McDonald. Listen, not only because he just beat the Rams, which I think are the best team in the NFC, it's because of how bad the Ravens look. And we're gonna get to the Ravens later, trust me. But every time the Seahawks do well and the Ravens do bad, I compare them and I'm like, imagine Mike McDonald with this Ravens team. And I'm not saying he's the key or anything like that, but he's certainly not the lock. I don't know if that makes sense, but you know what I'm saying. He's definitely adding to the positivity and the growth of the Seattle Seahawks. Sam Darnold was able to overcome his demons, if you will, coming back from 16 against this team. He didn't play great, but he won the game. You know, he beat not only the Rams, but a good team. And that makes them dangerous in the playoffs. That makes them extremely dangerous in the playoffs. If they can produce more in the running game, and that defense still play excellent. I know they gave a lot of points to the Rams, but hey, it is the Rams. Game did go down to the wire. Some freaky stuff happened with the refs, just like the Lions game. But hey, it happens. We talk about specific plays on TikTok. You can get at with me on there. Moving on to duds, we got DK Metcalf. Listen, this is something I spoke on TikTok specifically, and there's been more information on it since. He already got his suspension, 2 games, I believe. It avoided his guarantees and a lot of money, whatever the case may be. I expect more from my athletes, and maybe it's just me. I understand that apparently this I heard this from Ocho Cinco, that he called him a racial slur, the N-word probably, and he said something about his mother. Listen, obviously, if you're in the street or in a private setting, or if you're a regular guy or any of that stuff, one, the fan, nobody actually talks to someone that looks like DK Metcalf, built like DK Metcalf. No one's that fan wouldn't see DK Metcalf in the alley and say this stuff to him. You know, he has the comfort and the security and the safety of the cameras, of the fans. The fact that this man literally has his jersey on, he feels comfortable being able to say whatever he wants to him. That he's gonna hide in this. Well, I say hide in the stands, but in another angle, it looked like he was at his seat and he went down to talk to DK. Some reports just say that he just said DK's government name and DK didn't like that. At the end of the day, DK, we expect more from you. I expect more from you. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't even want to make this about money, but you do get paid a lot of money to play professional football. You are a inspiration, a hero to a lot of kids. And I understand that it's not your job to raise people's kids. I'm not saying that, but this is a bad look. You know what I'm saying? Let's just think about football terms or in terms of your team. You know, you just got a big win against the Lions. Ravens lose, so you got a better stranglehold on that division. You're trying to get some momentum going into the playoffs. And now my best wide receiver is out because he punched a fan in the mouth. Like, it's just not a good look. Honestly, I just don't like it. That's it. I'm sorry. And I'm not defending the fan. Obviously, he shouldn't be saying what he's saying, but it's just like these people on the internet. You know what I'm saying? These people on the internet talk, say whatever they want because they never think there'll be consequences. And he didn't think he was gonna get hit in the face. I guarantee it. But at the same time, DK, you could have done a lot of other things to. I don't know. You could have kicked him out the game. You could have got him. I don't know. You could have got him in trouble in so many ways. He could have been banned from the stadium. There's a lot of things you could have done if you just handled it differently. But now you look like the bad guy, regardless of what the guy said or didn't say. It's just, I don't know. I expected more. I just want more from you, if that makes sense. Moving forward to a lighter note, I guess Lamar Jackson. Everybody wants to root for you, Lamar. Everybody I know wants you to do well, wants you to compete for Super Bowls and MVPs and year after year just be that guy. I don't want to say you're letting us down, but dude, your injuries, you missing practice, your team not being as good. You are the quarterback. I understand. Hey, I put your coach on this list, on this dud list, week after week after week, because I don't think he's coaching the way he should be coaching. That's why I gave props to Mike McDonald early. McDaniel, interesting too. Mike McDonald, because man, maybe if they would have kicked Harbaugh out last year, elevated McDonald, this will be different for you. I don't know. But at the end of the day, you are the two-time MVP, one-time unanimous. You are the leader of this franchise. They put their all into you, and y'all losing to this guy on the left of you, the right of the screen. It's just bad. We need more from you. We need your body to hold up when it gets cold. I don't need you catching the cold or the flu or anything like that. A knee to the ribs. I understand that. Super, super unfortunate, but we needed you. We're playing the Patriots, a team that's on fire. Well, I know they just lost, but you know what I'm saying. A team, a top team in your conference. We need you out there. Tyler Huntley came in and played well, obviously, but Zay Flowers had that fumble. But still, we need you out there. You're Lamar Jackson, not him. Moving forward, I put Josh Allen on here, but it's really the Bills. I don't think they're a top contender in the AFC. I understand that when we're looking at the field and we're thinking quarterbacks, Josh Allen, Bo Nix, Drake May, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers in his stage. Josh Allen is clearly the most proven playoff wise quarterback. But is this team really built to make a long run in the playoffs? And I say this maybe a little bit personal because I actually put money on them to beat the Browns by 10.5, and they ended up winning by 3. And I'm not gonna lie, the Browns had some opportunities left on the board. And I'm not saying the Browns would have won if, some people didn't drop a pass into an interception or anything like that. But I expected more from this Bills team, and they just didn't give it. I understand this is a good defense, but 23 points, giving up 20 with having turnover. It's bad. I just don't think. And again, looking at the playoff picture, I understand that he's the best quarterback in terms of, hardware. Other than Aaron Rodgers, but he's in a different phase in his career. Playoff performances, things of that nature. But I don't think his team is there to back him up. James Cook is. I don't know what about anybody else, but we'll see what happens with them. Listen, I had Baker Mayfield on here. I'm not gonna lie. I had Baker Mayfield before the end of this Monday night game that just happened a couple hours ago. But I was so angry at the fact that Philip Rivers was cooking. And I mean that in a regular sense, not for his age, not you know what I'm saying. He was literally dicing up the Niners defense, which I really like. Robert Saleh. I like they don't have defensive pieces and sort of names, but their scheme, the players that they have, they're ball getters, they're ball hawks, they tackle well. Excuse me. So I really like what Bob Saleh is doing with that defense. Shout out the Niners. But Lou, you can't let Purdy get 5 touchdowns and yeah, they scored a one. They pick sixth Philip Rivers on that last play. The commentator said it was Warren's fault, but we're not even talking about that because at that point the game was basically already over. Brock Purdy scored 5 touchdowns, and did they punt at all? I don't remember their punting. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was it was bad. That defense just got cooked and cooked and cooked. I know you're missing 2 good corners that you gave a lot for Sauce, but this I'm just mad about Philip Rivers not being able to get a win before he walks out of the door because the commentators, Troy and Joe were talking about, well, just give it to Riley Leonard now. You guys got no shot in making the playoff. What's the point of keeping Philip Rivers? And it's like, dang, you came back 3 weeks to get your teeth kicked in a little bit. Um, Team wise, even though he was playing very well, I was just really impressed by Philip Rivers. He obviously knows the playbook. Maybe he runs those plays in high school. I'm not sure, but he was there at the line, with more than enough time to call out this and call out that and make whatever changes needed. And I just feel like he was playing really well, and he got let down by his defense, which you're the defensive head coach, if you guys didn't know. And number one on the dud list, we have the Lions. I have Jared Goff on here again. He's a quarterback. He represents the team. Your window's closed? Question mark? Maybe exclamation point? I don't know. It's a bad look. Let me see where y'all at. Exactly. I had it up here. Sorry about that. NFC North. The Lions have one more win than the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings, whose quarterback is the face of bad play. Not just quarterbacks. Anytime anybody has a bad game, whether it be wide receiver, quarterback, running back, defense, coach, whatever it is, they put their face on JJ McCarthy's body. He's the guy that everyone's making fun of, and his team has one less win than your team. You guys are a game apart. Well, is it 2 games apart? I don't know how you would say that. But anyways, you guys have lost 2 in a row. They've won 3 in a row. Packers have 1 more win. Bears have 2 more wins. And if you would have told me last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that the Lions would be looking at 3rd in their division, obviously nobody thought the Bears would be this good so early because of what happened last year. But the jump of Caleb and Ben Johnson has been pretty impressive. The Packers 9-5 is actually disappointing for them, and I can't even blame it on injuries. They've just been disappointing, losing some games they shouldn't have been losing. But you guys, Super Bowl hopefuls, you guys are just taking steps backwards each week, each year. You guys are taking a step backwards. I don't think you guys should have lost to the Steelers. I'm not really that big of a believer in the Steelers, but they got the job done against you, and I understand that last play things happen, but it was a miraculous play for Jared Goff to end up with the ball anyways. And I do agree that it was offensive pass interference. Ticky-tack, I doubt. I don't think. I think it was more of a good call. But the fact that you needed something like that to beat the Steelers, I just don't like it. Yeah, that's my studs and duds this week. I'm heavy on TikTok this week. Get with me on TikTok. I'm responding to all the comments. Whatever y'all want to argue about, whatever y'all want to discuss. Hey, sometimes I'm wrong, sometimes you're wrong, but I just love talking to y'all. Anyways, get with me on TikTok at Sitting with Stone, Twitter the same thing, or X, whatever you want to call it. Till then.
Thanks for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. If you don't agree with any of my takes, we can argue about it. Get on the podcast, get in the comments, whatever you want to do. You can subscribe to my channel right here. In this other corner, you should get with my TikTok and my Twitter. And in this corner right here, you can watch any more reaction videos, vlogs, or watch any more takes. Till then, see y'all. God bless.